So we're headed over today, me and the little lady here. She's hanging out with Daddy today, brothers with Papa and Mimi. But we're headed over to this place, one of our original pieces that we have. And I'm gonna start measuring out a shop location. I need a shop to work on stuff, place to get my stuff up out of the weather. This is gonna be, we're gonna build a little stone and log home over here. We've already got logs cut, milled, and ready to roll. Well, a good portion of them. We might have to do a little more milling and stuff on it, but we're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna flip the camera around. They're pretty. This is my little place I've got to go. You can't hardly see the view. Zoom on this phone ain't worth a darn, but I don't even know what it was, but sure was that. But what do you got to say, little lady? Can you say hi? Hi. Say it. Hi. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Headed to this other location over here. Pretty little rough little goat trail I've got through the brush here getting to it, but once I get over a little ways here, it kind of opens up and it's not nearly as bad. But truck says I've got low cooler, but I just filled it up with cooler just the other day. So once we get over here, I'm gonna check it. Temperature ain't hot right now, so I'll check it once we get over here. I ain't too worried about it this very second. Keep an eye on the temp gauge. If it starts rising real quick, I'll shut it down. I've got water in the back that'll at least get us home till I put more coolant in it. But just a nice little trip through the brush. I was heading down through here yesterday, got to see some deer bounce in front of me and stopped. They're pretty friendly right in here. We're tucked away way back in behind the country club here in Kenosha, Missouri, and so it's pretty peaceful back in here. This is what was supposed to be subdivision that really never got developed, and me and my father-in-law are going to try and develop a lot of this. We're going to build a house and a cabin here, possibly to sell, and I'd like to have a good chunk of land down on the river. That's kind of always been my plan, but river land costs so much, so I'm hoping we can buy a good chunk, or we can get a good chunk off selling this. We'll be able to build a house here pretty much without any cost, due to doing it ourselves and harvesting the wood and harvesting the darn rocks, the stone, the flat stone and everything like that. So hopefully we can build a place out here and wind up selling it and making a good chunk of money to where we can afford to buy a river property. I'd like to have 40-50 acres down on the rivers, ideally. The more the merrier, really, but I'm just going to let this do its thing. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see some deer or something come right in front of us. on the property here. It is this little piece right here. I'll flip the camera around and let you see it. It's this piece right here. There's 2 lots here. I figure we'll build here and then work, clean it up, sell it, possibly live here for a while. We're probably gonna park our camper here while we're building and everything, and it's where we can be on location and all that kind of jazz. But park camper here, 5th wheel or whatever, and build a home. You can see footings already dug there, and right here is where our house is going to be, and then right here I'm going to start out by building a big shop. I started moving some stuff around and got my air compressor and my oxygen acetylene torches brought over yesterday and unloaded them. I'll string in the video of me doing that right into this area right here. I'll just edit it right on in. Get out and take some measurements and kind of get a kind of an idea of what I'm gonna have to work here shop size wise. First I'll give you a little bit, I'll show you the logs. But we had a guy come in and mill these bad boys and do some work on them. Had him mill 2 sides up here. And there we go. We've got all these, and there's all of these already milled. There's several logs here, enough to have a real good start. Especially what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 foot. We're going to do 4 foot sting wall, 4 foot walls. And they'll be rock. They'll be concrete first, and then we'll go in, coat them with rock on the outside, make them, you know, for aesthetics and all that. Go 4 to 6 feet high on the rock, and then we're gonna do log on top of that. So, you know, that's kind of my game plan here. Do all that, but right here is gonna be the footing I got footings dug right here for a house, for a little pad. And then there's going to be wall up in there and more house up top. So we'll have down here, which will be your entrance area. Driveway will probably be over there to come in for the house. But we're going to go, it's going to go right up through here. Do more stem wall. And then stem wall like this. And then right here will be another portion of it. And then right over there is going to be the garage where the logs are actually sitting, because I need somewhere to be able to build and do. I will probably start out by building my shop first. I'll probably start out just a canopy, covered canopy, and then it will go from there and be actual. I'll enclose it, do all that good jazz, turn it into a shop. This ain't gonna be a long stay place. There's not a whole lot of footage here for anything fun, but it will make a nice little money maker. People moving into this lake. We're half mile from the lake here, so people were, quarter mile away from the golf course country club. We got lake that away, we got lake back that away, surrounded by timber, and I can sell this pretty fast, like to some out-of-towner wants to come in here and have a little slice of this heaven we've got here. So that's kind of the game plan. Get this all moved up, start getting some measurements lined out for a house and for a shop, and then possibly go home and install a third battery on my pickup to better run my winch. I want to put a battery. Let me show you. I want to put a battery right here installed for the winch on my pickup. That's my game plan, to where I can just run my lead right back. I've got it hooked up at the moment, but it's so much distance to the battery that you have electrical issues with this line, which I've got pretty heavy gauge aluminum wire there running to it, but I want to get it to where it's pulling directly from the feed a little closer, the battery a little closer, to where it can be charging the battery, but it's not really relying on all that footage to draw the amperage. There'll be a battery hooked in series back here, and that'll solve a lot of problems. But I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna prop up the camera, I'm gonna get out, take some measurements, do what all I need to do here, and I'll get some footage of that for you, and we'll just go from there. I just got backed up here where I'm gonna park the truck. I need to look over and see what's going on, what's causing that low coolant light. So we're gonna get out and do that. In the time that over here, little lady's already crashed out. She's passed out back there. I kind of figured that'd be the way this move, the sound of this old diesel pickup just soothes her to sleep. But we're gonna get out and see what's going on with the coolant. So it's looking like this thing is bone dry on fluids. I'm not sure where it's going. I'm gonna get a little water in a jug here and see if we can't figure that out. So I've got some mixed coolant here. Before I go ahead and put this in, I don't really want to waste this high dollar antifreeze. So before I do this, I'm gonna go ahead and put just straight water in it. See where we're pretty well done past the freeze point. So I'll just keep an eye on the weather, make sure it's not going to get down below freezing. But I'm going to run just water through it so I'm not wasting this if I have something that is spilling water out first. All right, it's looking like I've got about 34 by 36, or I could do 32 by 34, somewhere right in there, and have plenty of room, which makes for a really good size shop. It's not as big as what I would like to build one day, but as of right now, you know, with this just being a temporary money maker for us. So I've got 25 feet by 25 feet, which essentially adds up to about 625 feet square footage of house right here. Plus we're going to be doing some more building up here with more home up top is kind of essentially the plan here. I've got a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to do up here. But so you'll have boys' bedroom, loft, living room down here, and then up here you'll have like stairs that come up onto this portion over here, and you'll have master bath, master bedroom up in this area, and possibly well, no, we'll have kitchen, living room down here with a loft up above for boys' bedroom, and then you'll have stairs that come up onto this portion back here, which will have master bath, master bed, and up on here. So I'd say we'll probably have another 250, 300 square foot up here of house. Plus you're going to have extra probably 200 square foot, 200 up above in the loft in the kids' area. They'll probably have some sort of bedroom up there for the girls, and then a bedroom for the boys. So we'll be looking at about 1,000 to 1,250 square foot altogether, and all rock, log. So I mean, it's going to be a nice little space once I get it all finished up. Not too large. You know, like I said, this is just a money maker. I want it to be somewhere where, you know, some old retired man and woman from the city can come in and downsize from their large family home in the suburbs and buy something down here on the lake and the golf course, where they can take it easy and live a little bit more simple of a life. A lot of people like these log cabins, these rock and log homes, and they tend to really like them. So, and they sell well. It's more of like a art than it is, you know, your traditional building. And So that's what we're going to build here, and that's what we're going to wind up having. I'm going to get some footage of the trip on out of here, headed back home, and I'll see you whenever I get back, because we're going to do some working on the pickup, trying to get that battery hooked up, and a few other things. So just stand by. Hi, Princess. Look who woke up. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Yeah. You have a pretty good nap? Huh? She's been sleeping for almost an hour, hour and a half out here in the pickup, enjoying life. But yeah, she just woke up, but we're headed back to the house, and she's gonna hang out with Daddy while I do some projects. Back through the woods we go. Ain't that right? This is where the trail kind of gets a little rough. There's a way to go out the other way back to the right there, but we kind of like taking the scenic route. It is what it is. I ain't too worried about the paint job on this whole pickup. I'm probably gonna do like an olive drab color paint on it. I've been trying to bring some life back into this old truck. It's a 6.5 turbo diesel. It's got a little bit of a injector knock at the moment. I put a new injector pump on it and done several little things. New transmission in it about 3 years ago, and then injector pump about 3 years ago, and it's kind of set. I don't drive it a whole lot anymore, but I'm trying to turn it back into a good pulling work truck. Eventually I'd like to go in and put a 12 valve Cummins engine in it. That's kind of my next plan. Not that 6.5 ain't doing anything or it don't do the job, but it's starting to have its little ticks. If I can't get it all figured out, then I'll pull it. Starting to have its little ticks, you know, things that need, I don't know if it's going to be able to do the work that I want it to do anymore. It was a good pickup, but the miles are starting to wear on it, and it's starting to have its little problems. So I'm kind of thinking if I can't get it lined out and back to running 100% without it just costing an arm and a leg, I'll probably pull this one out, set it back for, really what I'd like to do is I'd like to buy a Toyota Tacoma, an old Toyota Tacoma, build a rock climber out of it, that little brush truck, and put it down in that little Toyota Tacoma, because it won't need the power. I can refresh the engine on it over time and get it back to where it was when I first bought it, and have a little good fuel mileage pickup that has basically flooded with power from, because 6.5 be more than enough power for a little Toyota Tacoma. And these things historically, with the right gearing and transmission behind it, historically these things are known to be, these 6.5s are known to be fuel savers. So I'm not saying that the little Tacoma engines that come in it aren't, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have a little rock climber like that with 6.5 turbo diesel in it. I think that'd be pretty nifty. So maybe one of these days, if I could get this I could get this thing to sit here on its case. Darn thing keeps on wanting to fall out of its stand there. Kind of a little bit annoying, but yeah, I think that'd be pretty nifty to have a 6.5 turbo diesel in a Toyota Tacoma. I'll do some video footage when I do it, if I decide that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, that'd be pretty neat. And then I'll just throw a 12 valve down in here, because that's pretty easy bolt-on power. It's got a little bit of work. It's a little bit of a job to do, but these 6.5s are pretty, not these 6.5s, these old Chevys that don't have a whole lot to do to get one in here. I had to do some work with the radiator and all that to get the intercooler and all that kind of crap in it. And also I'll have to probably lift it just a touch, which ain't no big deal, body lift on the front, because I'm gonna put a flatbed, build a flatbed for the back of it. So that ain't really a whole lot of problem, but yeah, put a 12 valve down in it. I've already got an NV4500, so I'll just have to change out the main shaft in the 2500 or the NV4500 to put in a that bolts up with a 12 valve. That's what them old trucks came in, and in them with when their stock standard was NV4500. So there ain't a whole lot of work to be done there, and I should be running again in probably a good solid 3 or 4 days working on it. So there's that, but just one piece at a time. We almost back over here to the house. It's there's a way to get here through the highway, but like I said, I'd rather take the scenic route. You might see some deer or something that way, and I kind of always enjoyed that. Me and sister don't mind the ride through the brush, do we, sister? We're living in a tiny house right now. We moved this in. We were gonna do add on to this building here, but some things changed. It's a 40 by 16 building that we were going to do some adding on to and some work on, but yeah, we don't really want to do that route. We'd just rather build a house and be done with the problem. Okay, I'm here with the winch. What my game plan is I'm going to wire this winch up to this battery, and then I'm going to run the wiring I have down here that comes to it into the battery to where it'll charge the battery as the truck runs, and also supply a little bit of juice to the truck itself. What my game plan is I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna drill my holes right back in here to run my wiring up to where they're kind of hidden. Probably right there. I'm gonna install a plate right here to keep the battery in place and to be able to strap it to. And then I'm gonna drill my holes, run my wiring up here, catch this, and then I'll run a ground down, tie it into the ground to where it completes the circuit on it. And then I'm gonna wire this right up. I'm gonna install this right here on the side of my bed to where I've got a shut off for it. I'll wire everything in either there or right there. I'll probably wire it right there to where I've got a good shut off for it, and to where it's not a constant draw on the system. And then we'll go out, test it, see how the thing does. That's my game plans. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'm gonna get at it. I'll do video of it, but I'll probably speed up time to where you ain't got to watch all the little BS, and then we'll have some more footage tonight of me dragging some logs up out of the woods, or who knows, I'll find something to drag around. I've got a couple trees right here by the house that I'm gonna get drug up out. This is right here is the tiny home that we have at the moment. It's 40 by 60. It is a big old home. We're temporarily living in that. We were gonna do an add-on. We were supposed to place it further back in the brush. We were gonna place it up in there is what the original plan was, have it a little further off the road, but the moving company couldn't get it in where we wanted it to put in, so we just installed the thing right here. I put the wood stove in it, and we planned on doing something with it, but you know how time goes. That's where we got the fridge, just to kind of keep it out of the way, because it's pretty small. It's got 2 lofts in there, but we got 3 kids, me and my wife in there, and it gets pretty cramped, so we just put the fridge out there. But eventually we would like to go ahead and actually I think we're pretty well done with this little ordeal, and we're going to be moving our camper over onto the new place, and we're just going to stay in there while we're building the house and all that. Call it done over here. We'll probably move on from there and see what we can get done. But yeah, that's where the original house is. That's where I've got my tools at now, which can be kind of a pain. I don't like having them out in the weather. I've got them boxes and whatnots, but I'm wanting a little something better to keep my tools in. But we're going to get back over here, and we'll do some sort of time lapse on me putting that together. I'll probably slow down on a few of them and show you kind of what I got going on while I do this, and how I'm putting it together. I don't have any electrical connectors right now. I am currently out of those, so I will be going back and installing electrical connectors. I just don't have them right now, so I'm gonna do what I can, get it all hooked up, and then I'll go back later on and fix that right there. But I reckon let's get at it.
Dad, it's been 12 minutes.
So I pre-drilled that hole there. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna feed that wire up and to my battery terminal, the one coming from up front, and then I'm gonna run a ground over here and attach that in, and then I'm gonna attach that that winch wire up to that with that shut off right there. we'll just kind of get back at it.
Can I hear what the game says now? Can I hear
Get down off of that so you're not shaking the camera.
or not?
Come on, bub. Oh, I forgot to point this out, but my amigos. Cannon, where you at? She's sitting right there patiently. Curtis, my son. And then where is Cannon? The other amigo coming down the hill. He's mad because I'm making him come down here. So I ran that ground down through there. It comes down through there. Comes right there. Runs right there. And I'm going to ground it off in between the bumper and the frame right there. I'll have to get a file or something up in there to kind of scuff it up a little bit. But I think I can pull pretty good ground somewhere right there. All right. Let's get at it. There. Zip them back down and be done. A few more tools. Unless I can find a better place to ground that. I think that's going to be the A1 spot right there. If I just zipped them off the other day installing this bumper, so they should come off pretty easily. And I can just run it right down through there. Zip them back down and be done. I don't think it's going to be that bad. All right. Oh. It's those two bolts right there that I got to undo. There's two nuts. Of course, the bolts are on the other side. I believe right there. I'm going to loosen them up, and then I'll take a pry bar. Pop this right up in there, and then we'll see if I got good ground, and then I'll tighten them down. If not, then I might have to get something to scuff it up a little bit and get some shiny metal, but that's what I'm going to be doing right here. All right, I gotta go find me a pry bar. So I've got power here. It's all hooked up, ready to roll. I'm hoping it'll run at full capacity all the time. But what I've got is this power wire right here, which is your main power to it, comes up underneath, runs up underneath the truck, comes up through a hole right there in my bed, goes into that shut-off switch. Shut-off switch from it runs right back in through there, cuts around, and goes right into that right there. All right, this is the power that's coming from the front of the truck. I know I need to get connectors, and I know I need garments on this, but it'll last for a little bit. But this runs all the way down up underneath the truck. Right there, you can see the wire runs right in through the frame all the way up to the main battery system up front, to where it's charging, but it's not drawing so much amperage all the way down on wire that's not made for it. This will charge the battery up as the truck is running, charge this battery, everything will work. It should just work smoothly. This ground comes down and connects right in there, in between my bumper and the frame. So we've got everything seems to work accordingly, which is a good thing. Now we need to get a good test on this. All right, we're gonna do a little clean up some of these tools, get some of that stuff put up, and then we're gonna try and maybe hopefully mom or their mom will be home by then. I can run down and we can try dragging some stuff out of the brush. I'll get back to you then. I also need to go back in and finish hooking up that, attaching it to where it's actually attached to the body of the truck for a shut off. But for now I'm going to shut it off. We're going to make sure that still works. We got shut off here. Oh, by the way, if you ever buy one of these winches, I recommend for like 25 bucks buy this little adapter here, and it will make it to where, which I need to mount it to, I could probably mount it right there, more like right here. Just a couple simple things, and it makes it remote to where you have a remote that'll work your winch from inside the truck, off it. And actually the distance of this thing is rather impressive. I'll go off. See, I'm probably 15-20 feet from the truck right now. See that? Away, I'm probably 25-30 feet. I'll see, you know, so like we got quite a ways away right here, into where you can see. So it does work pretty far away. That's 1x, 1x or 0.5x, 2x on the zoom. So it really is kind of impressive. I'd say probably 50-60 feet and this thing will still work. That might be pushing it a little bit, give or take, but it seems to work pretty good when I'm dragging trees up out of the woods and all kinds of stuff. So there's that. I highly recommend buying one of these Badland remote winches to go with your Badland winch. Another thing, these Badland winches from Harbor Freight, a lot of people down on Harbor Freight. These things actually work really good. Look up the comparisons of them and some of the others like Warren and all them. Actually, Harbor Freight tends to outdo just about almost all the other winches on there. For the price, they really do make a good quality piece of equipment when it comes to their winches. So there's that. So it wound up getting dark on me last night, and I was not able to get no footage of me pulling any stuff out of the woods like I'd anticipated. So we're gonna head down, me and the boys. They're with Dad today, and the little lady. We're gonna head on down and do some pulling, do some testing of that winch. Boys, wanna say hello?
Hello. Who's that? Who's that?
It's video.
Hi. Hi.
All right, that's enough, dude. So want to say hi, sister? Get out of the way, Cannon.
Hi.
Hi. But yeah, we're gonna head down. We're gonna get some footage of that, and I'll be back to you, I reckon.
Oh my kids.
So we're pulling up to a spot here. It's up where I've got a little food plot going on, but I've got some logs laying screwed up here. We're gonna hook to a couple of them, see if we can't do something with them, drag them a little bit, pull them out. I ain't really doing anything other than testing the winch, but I'll pull up here and I'll let you guys have a look at this food plot. This is a little food plot we've got here. Just a little stretch. It's got planted in wheat and oats. You can tell it's just now starting to really pop off and do, but I'm hoping it'll make a good little spot to hunt. Kind of peaceful back in here. Watch out. No, I don't want that on.
Papa can call.
Hey, don't be saying anything.
Press it. All right, so the old winch do some heavy pulling. It done good. Them old logs there are pretty big. They're pretty heavy. Just to give you a comparison, that's my leg right up against it. So that gives you a pretty good idea of how big that log is. Standard, pretty well standard size. I think these are 9'6". So I'm gonna say that log right there is 600, 700, 800 pounds pretty easily, if not a little more, maybe. Might be a little bit less. It's a pretty good size log. But yeah, that just kind of goes to show it seems to be pulling good, don't seem to have any trouble. So I'm gonna call that a wrap, except for getting my my fittings and all that kind of stuff in to where protect my wires and get them on good to where they got a good solid connection. But yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up the little log pulling. I'm gonna go down and do some few other things here around the house. I just want to take a moment here and say that this is my first video that I've produced. I plan on producing a whole lot more of these. I really like making these videos. I like showing you guys, bringing you guys along with my builds, all the things that I've got done. I've got a lot of plans and a lot of projects coming up that I'd like to show you guys. I like showing you guys around my plans for my homestead and kind of what me and my family's got going on right now, as in our lives and what we're going to be building. I'd like to have videos of the gardening that we've got going on that I'm going to be building, the shop, the house, take you along for it all, the builds that I'm going to be doing with my vehicles, just everyday life too involved. I want to take a second and thank you guys for making it this far. If you like what I'm doing, hit that like and that subscribe button. Thank you, and this is the end. I'll see you in the next one.